You are listening to The Michael Lodge Show. Wealth, business, and taxes. Oh yeah, and some politics. Let's get started.
I tell you, when you have a cold, this is the worst experience ever. You're having to wait and talk at the time that you're not coughing. I tell you, I haven't had a cold for so long, and as you can hear from my voice, it has affected my voice. I'm glad that it's getting better, though. Because I tell you, when you have a cold, it kind of drains you, right? You're looking at your work on your desk and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't feel like doing that work today, but you've got to because you have responsibilities. You may not have a voice and you may not have the energy to do it, but you still got to do it. That's part of life, isn't it? Part of life. So I was really interested today. I was the first thing I do when I get up in the morning is I check my cell phone to see exactly what news trends are coming my way today and what I'm going to have to talk about or think about. I was interested because there was one article, and then I read it on my Google News, and then I jumped over to Twitter, and it was there too, and I went over to Facebook, and there it was popping up there. But there seems to be a trend of what people are searching for on Google. The number one trend on Google on searches, asking the question, can I change my vote? Can I change my vote? So that's been that's been trending on Google for over a week now. And it's just now hitting the news. So many people on the internet have claimed that "Can I change my vote?" was trending, but then I had to pull up some research to see exactly what has been trending. And after the last debate and over the weekend, people began to change their minds of what they want to do on their vote. So, following the last debate on October 22nd, news reports and messages has spread which claim that people have been searching for change my vote on the internet. So the question was that true? Were people doing that? And the answer was yes. Can I change my vote was trending yesterday, October 25th, or 25th and 26th. So they looked up the phrase on Google Trends for the last day, and according to the data, people in the U.S. have been searching for change my vote on Google. So people have been thinking about the last debate, what was said, and that people understand now that Joe Biden wants to destroy the energy markets and the oil markets. He has literally said he's going to shut them down. He also called President Lincoln a racist. He said he was the most racist president ever. So anyway, as shown in the Google Trends graph that they post, the biggest interest between October 25th and the 26th was in Idaho, Arizona, and Rhode Island, followed by Oklahoma and Florida. So, which is very interesting that you have those states looking. So Google Trends indicates that "Can I Change My Voice" was trending last week as well. Not just over the weekend, but also last week. People from Idaho, Arizona, and Pennsylvania were the ones searching the phrase the most over the last 7 days. A 30-day graph shows that there was a spike in change my vote following the last presidential debate between President Trump and Joe Biden on October 22nd. Meanwhile, the statistics for the last 7 days, October 19th through the 26th, show that while there was interest after the debate, the actual surge came in on Sunday, October 25th. So then the next question, the answer to that question, can you change your vote, is yes. So in some states allow voters to change their choices. Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, New York, Pennsylvania, Mississippi, and Connecticut. And if you want more information on that, go to the U.S. government's website, and they can tell you what other states that there could be. But of course, then what happened is that President Trump tweets out this morning that, hey, you can change your vote. Change it for me. Which is kind of strange, isn't it? Because after the debate, there was a lot of controversy over what Biden had said. I mean, he really attacked America. He has this dark outlook. In fact, he calls it a dark winter. He has this very dark outlook on America, compared to Trump's outlook, where it's very positive and everything's going to get better and we're all going to work together. Success is the key to America becoming even better. But then we have this other side, on the Democratic side, which is very dark. I want to talk about the Democrats just a little bit here. Yesterday, Justice Barrett was sworn in to the Supreme Court. Great choice, great woman, great attorney, great professor, great judge. The Democrats are so upset that they're beginning to threaten the Republicans. They're beginning to threaten them because they did not like that this judge was pushed through the nomination process and the confirmation process so quickly. Well, Democrats, listen. Republicans were in charge of the Senate. They can do what they want to. The president has a constitutional duty to nominate a good judge to serve in the Supreme Court. President Trump fulfilled his constitutional duty. The next step to that was that the Senate was to ask the questions of this judge and then vote whether or not they should move it forward to the full United States Senate. Now, the problem with that is that Democrats decided to boycott the vote. They wanted to play this little childish game of, okay, if you're going to do this, we're not going to show up. We're not going to do anything. Not one time has the Republicans ever done that. So the Democrats want to play this game. Chuck Schumer sits there and puts out these words that say, listen, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. You will hate the day that you did this. We're going to threaten you with what's going to happen when we're in charge. Blumenthal did the same thing. Senator Blumenthal did the same thing on the Senate floor. Both of them on the Senate floor threatening the Republicans. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that is not how you have democracy in this nation when you have senators threatening other senators. It doesn't work. It shows how childish that you are if you will not show up for a vote. And then when you do show up for a vote in the full Senate, you have this sign of a thumbs down, and then you walk out of the Senate. That type of theatrics doesn't play well with me as an American. To me, that's a childish person. It's the way that they acted was as if they were out in the playground and they were the mean boys and girls and they were picking on everybody else because they didn't get what they wanted. They didn't get what they wanted. We cannot keep going on like this. I have never seen so much hate in the United States Congress under Pelosi and in the Senate under Schumer. Don't you think that, listen, I'm talking specifically to you Democrats right now. If you want to effect change in this great country of ours, you have got to work together. You can't keep hating like this. The hate that you have shown over the last 4 years has divided this nation. But unfortunately, what's happening right now is the nation is coming together because they see how you have acted over the last 4 years. They see the childish pranks that you play. Nancy Pelosi is holding up aid to the American people because she wants more pork inside her bill that has nothing to do with COVID. Zero. It'd be so much easier if she really cared about this nation. She would take this single item of COVID help, vote on it in the Congress, and get it over to the president. Forget about everything else that you want to put in there. If she really cared about this great nation of ours, she would create a vote that sent that aid over to the Senate, and the Senate can vote it into law. But she refuses to do it because she wants to continue to play this power game and how much she hates Donald Trump. The problem with Nancy Pelosi is that her leadership is not based upon what the needs are for the American people. It is about hate that she has in her heart and her mind towards President Trump. And that's where we stand today. Now, she has made some statements over the last couple of days that she has said that she was going to run for the speaker position once again after the elections. Bad mistake. To you Democrats out there, if you really want change, if you really want to work for the American people, get Nancy Pelosi out of that chair as Speaker of the House. It is time for a positive change in this nation. And if you have Speaker Pelosi and if you have Chuck Schumer in their offices as leaders in their Democratic Party, you are going to fail again for the next 4 years. And I'm tired of your failure. I'm happy with me winning, but I'm tired and I feel sad for your failure of what leaders you have in place that should be working for the nation and not for their political party or their political hate. And that's where we stand today. We are in limbo because of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. Threatening each other all the time, all day long, every week, every month, all year long. It's getting tiresome. And the American people, no wonder they're searching for, can I change my vote? Because a lot of them do want to change their vote. Because they're sick and tired of what they see coming out of the Democrats in the Congress and in the Senate. Threats do not change America. Working together does. And that is the truth. If you go to your office and you see people who are not working together within the team, what happens to that individual? Pretty soon they're off the team because they're not putting any value into the team. Well, that's exactly where we sit today with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. And then you have all of these little minions under Nancy Pelosi, AOC. And AOC is nothing but nonsense because all that she wants is to destroy democracy. She doesn't want to enhance it, so she wants to add more than 9 judges to the Supreme Court. She wants to outdo portions of the Constitution because she doesn't think it's right. And she goes off onto this race tangent every single moment that she can. What change does that create in the Congress? Nothing. AOC has not been able to get one piece of legislation through because it's nonsense legislation. It's something that the American people don't even want to consider, but she keeps pushing it through. Because she has this crazy, corrupt political thought process and what she thinks America should be. Unfortunately, she's the only one that thinks that way. Well, there's a lot more people there, but we don't consider them. We don't consider people who do not add value to the process. And AOC has not added any value to the process of legislation. Nancy Pelosi has not added any value. Maxine Waters has not added any values. And I can go on with a whole bunch of other names because their hate is so greater than the desire to help the American people. I love this nation. I'm telling you, this nation is in my heart every single day. Last night I was watching the swearing-in ceremonies, and I was looking at the White House, and I'm thinking, that is the people's house. That is where the president lives. That's where major decisions for the nation and for the international community is made inside that house. And inside that house, it's very important to have an individual who's willing to work for the American people, not for his political party, not for outside interest groups, but for the American people. So very important that what happens in there as they were swearing in this justice, and of course you could hear the bands being played and the patriotic music being played, and you saw the flags waving, and you thought, my gosh, I'm so proud of being an American. I'm so proud of this great nation, this country, this believer in liberty and justice for all. This nation that built its laws upon the cornerstone of the Constitution and continues to do so this day. And as I looked at and then thinking about the institution of the Supreme Court, it is not supposed to be a political house. It is not supposed to be an institution where politics plays a policy-making role. It is as soon as you enter into the chambers of that Supreme Court, that's when all politics ends. And the focus is on the Constitution, understanding how the Constitution deals with a specific court case that they are listening to. Now, the Democrats are going to say, they're going to destroy Obamacare. And they push that scenario every single day. But what they don't tell you is that there may be parts of Obamacare that is unconstitutional. Just as the issue of a fee then become a tax because it was deemed a tax by the Supreme Court. Bits and pieces are going to change. Every single law that is passed, it is changed based upon the words of the Constitution. Listen, Congress never gets it right. Sometimes they make mistakes when they draft the bill and pass it. Sometimes they didn't go the full extent of looking, asking the question, is this constitutional? And so it heads over to the Supreme Court. It's challenged by individuals who see it differently, and it goes to the Supreme Court for a decision. But the decision is not making a policy change or it's not setting policy within the Supreme Court. It is literally taking that lawsuit, looking at the arguments of the law as it pertains to the Constitution, and making a decision. And there are tons of laws out there that are being challenged every single day because people see that it may not be constitutional, it may not be fair. That's what the institution of the Supreme Court does. Politics doesn't mean anything. Their role as a justice is to drill down into the Constitution, drill down into the particular lawsuit, and make a decision based upon the Constitution, not upon a political whim. And that's why it becomes very, very scary when Democrats want to add more justices to the Supreme Court. Because they want to pack it. They want to make sure that there's more political opinion in there than there is legal opinion. And that's where we have a problem. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee just a second. When you start losing your voice and it begins to crackle, you know you've talked too much. I think I'm at that point. But today, we get up. It's a beautiful day here in Palm Beach. We get up and we face a new day. A lot of us has voted. A lot of you have not voted. Make sure you have looked and done your due diligence on your candidates, on the various measures that are out there, the judges and the county commissioners or whatever else that we're voting for this voting season. But do your due diligence. So you don't have to ask Google, can I change my vote? So listen, if you want to change your vote, and if you're in those states that I mentioned, I guess you can do it. We are in the most important vote of our nation, of our time. And Americans understand the values of this great country and how we have built it. And the most important aspect of our Constitution and how we have to protect it. And to make sure that we put people in office that will work for us and not work for a political party. I would like to see all of us working together. If we can do it in the office place, why can't we do it in our nation? There are certain measures, there's certain laws that are up in our state legislatures, in our United States Congress that we should be paying more attention to. And then I want to talk to all of you pastors out there. Where have you been? Why have you not opened up your churches? Why have you not taken your keys and unlocked the front doors and allowed people to come in and pray and to worship God and to ask questions of their pastors in person? How many people have you lost during this epidemic because your doors were not open? I've looked at some of your numbers as on a Sunday when I am looking at the online church things. The numbers, some churches are very high, up to 500, 1,000 people on their Facebook page. Other churches, 1, 2 people. I was looking at the church here in Palm Beach. 1 to 2 people, sometimes up to 10 people. And then you look at other churches and they have 500 and some odd people because they have more interaction with their congregation. So I'm asking the pastors, why have you not opened up your churches? Government does not tell a church what to do. Government does not tell you to close your doors. It does not tell you to stop praying. It doesn't tell you what religion you should be worshiping. It doesn't tell you what your moral rights are under a government organization. It doesn't tell you what to do. It doesn't have the power. No government has the power to tell you what to do. And as you sit there with your door shut, you have people losing interest in God and moving on to other things. They have forgotten how to pray. They have forgotten how to talk about God. Some of them have even stopped reading their Bibles because the church is no longer involved in their lives, and they are no longer involved in the church's life. I encourage every single one of your churches, every single one of your pastors, rise up, open your churches, let your people back in. Let God back in. When God's people isn't there, God is not there. God's people are not inside there, worshiping together and singing God's praises. And God is not there. God loves his people. God wants to be involved in his people's lives. But with the doors shut, God gets pushed further and further away. So, pastors, what happened to your faith? What happened to your belief in religious liberty? What happened to your belief in your people? I'm just asking because I'm highly concerned. As a Christian, I'm highly concerned. I'm highly concerned that my church just sits there, comes on once a week and does readings, but there's no real message there. He wants to sit there and just hear readings. I love the Good Shepherd Church in Beverly Hills, Catholic organization, Catholic church. They have this beautiful old Irish priest who comes on about once a week and gives a really good message, sitting in his chair. I think he's almost 90 years old. But the father gives a good message. Doesn't read the daily sayings that you're supposed to do. It doesn't do that. It's that special personalized message that he gives to his followers. And this priest is old. But it comes from the heart. The message comes from the heart. So I'm asking the pastors, what's in your heart? Where is your heart? Where is that personal message that you need to be delivering on a weekly or on a daily basis to the people that worshipped in your house at one point in time? Open up your doors. Let God's people back in. Let the American people come back in and begin the process of learning to worship over. Listen, this is Mike Lodge. I've got to get going because my voice is just about ready to die. Listen, I've got 2 books out there. I've got 3 books, but 2 books that I want to tell you about that would make a very good stocking stuffer. And that is Ethically Thinking. It's Not That Hard. And the other book is called Daily Strategy. And that book is about daily mediation that you have to do on a daily basis with various different people. I hope that you go out and go on to Amazon.com. It's written by Michael Lodge, which is me. Get the book. Read it. Also, I invite you to go to my website at lodge, LODGE-co.com. See what my company does, see what my firm does. And then the last part of this podcast before my voice goes completely away. I want every single one of you to go out, and I want you to have a great day. If it's cold, have a great day. If it's hot, have a great day. If it's raining, have a great day. And I want you to reach out and touch someone's life today in some way, just by a smile. Well, maybe they won't see you smile because you have to wear that mask. But maybe with a thumbs up, maybe with a pat on the back, maybe with just a word. Touch someone's life today. Makes the whole world a lot better. This is Mike Lodge. Everybody have a great day. Tally ho. Bye-bye. This podcast is produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.